I just don't buy the fact that people weren't aware.
Doesn't buy it. The Attorney General has a message for landlords late to comply with the state's new rental registry.
It requires lead conformance for homes built before 1978, but apparently there are lead inspection backlogs. NBC 10 I-Team reporter Tamara Sakarsek questioned state leaders after hearing from landlords.
Landlords were supposed to sign up for the registry by October 1st, but many missed that deadline. Some say they couldn't get lead inspections in time, blaming little outreach about the law in advance. State leaders disagree.
There's no excuse except you don't care. And if you don't care, then what I would suggest is you get out of the landlord business.
In a one-on-one interview with the I-Team, Attorney General Peter Nerona fires back at landlords who claim a lead inspection backlog prevented them from meeting the state's October 1st deadline for its new rental registry.
We've heard this all the time. There aren't enough inspectors. You can't reach one. And from jump, there have always been inspectors available.
I was seeking to get some of my units taken care of, and the wait is anywhere from 8 to 10 months.
That's a local landlord telling us earlier this year that he had to wait months to get his properties lead inspected. His biggest concern? If a landlord doesn't register, they're not allowed to evict a tenant for not paying rent.
Is that unfair for the smaller landlords that say that they really did not know?
No, I mean, here's the deal. When you make a bargain with a tenant where they need to pay their rent, your part of the bargain is to have a unit that's safe. And if the landlords haven't kept up with their part of the bargain, sometimes the only leverage that the tenant has is to withhold rent.
Now, you think they've been given enough time? However, I've spoken to people who said they didn't find out about this new law, the rental registry, until September, when there was only 30 lead inspectors that the state had.
Yeah.
I mean, was that enough for these people to comply with it, the 30
Sure.
lead inspectors?
Yeah, I don't buy they didn't know. This is one that was all over the news back in the day.
The rental registry was signed into law in 2023, but the Department of Health did not receive funding until this past July. Official notifications went out to landlords in September for the October 1st deadline, when just 38 lead inspectors were available.
When we first started, we were receiving concerns from constituents and from landlords that said that they were not able to get appointments for 3 or 4 weeks.
Department of Health Deputy Director Seema Dixit tells me those concerns prompted the agency to postpone financial penalties for noncompliance.
A lot of landlords said that they were blindsided by this. Do you agree with that?
I would respectfully disagree because this law has been in place, as I said, since 2005. So, it's almost been 20 years now.
While the rental registry is only around a year and a half old, lead conformance certificates have been required for decades, leaving little sympathy from state leaders.
This law has been on the books for 20 years that they need to be lead compliant, and they had 15 months notice to get it done. If at the end there was a mad rush because, divine intervention didn't happen and they couldn't get out of what the law requires, well, that's on them.
The Department of Health has increased the number of lead inspectors in the state by 80% since September. Still no word on when financial penalties will begin. For the NBC 10 I-Team, I'm Tamara Sakarsek.